Another edition of Todd's Odds with our sports betting analyst, Todd Furman, back in his basement after an exciting week in front of the Bellagio on the Vegas Strip. Todd, have you recovered from Super Bowl week in Vegas yet?
I have, Jay, but I'm quickly reminded that it is a young man's game out there and on the wrong side of 40. Me staying out past 9 o'clock most nights with everybody in town did take a little bit of a toll on the immune system, but as you know, you have to play hurt in this business sometimes. So the sniffs, the sneezing, and everything else that comes along with it will not slow us down. The show must go on.
Okay, good. I'm glad about that. I want to say something to our viewers. Even if you're a casual bettor, you've got to listen to this guy. He's a genius, and he told us just a couple of weeks ago, Connor McDavid, he said, listen, do not be a fool. Do not count out Connor McDavid for the Hart or the Art Ross Trophy. Well, look at how those prices have changed since Todd said that to us. Todd, has the ship sailed on getting any value on McDavid at this point for the Hart or the Art Ross, or would you still hop on that?
You know what, Jay? I think this is kind of the wait-and-see juncture of the season. You look at the numbers that have moved as far as the 35-1 down to plus 450. I mean, incredible, but that's just what Connor McDavid does and how quickly he can close a gap in some of the awards when you put up 6 helpers in an 8-goal outburst earlier this week like he did against the Detroit Red Wings. So when you look at a lot of these awards, it's Nathan MacKinnon, it's Nikita Kucherov, and Connor McDavid. If the Oilers somehow can bridge the gap to top spot in the Pacific Division where Vancouver has an overwhelming edge, look, Connor McDavid could get showered with more hardware than even Connor McDavid thought he would be able to accumulate this season, but I'm not willing to jump into the pool with the current numbers.
All right, let's talk a little NFL. You spent all season avoiding making a Super Bowl bet, teasing the viewers, stringing them along, if you will. Do you maybe want to make a prediction on next year already, Todd? Because for next year's Super Bowl, the Niners and Chiefs are, of course, the 2 favorites.
I mean, look, Jay, I got my prediction wrong 3 days in advance of the big game, picking the 49ers to beat the Chiefs. So what could possibly go wrong 360 days out? But you know what? We live a life of risk and return. And I think there are a couple of teams that do stand out to me in the current prices at FanDuel, one of which resides in the NFC. And I look at the landscape in the conference. I think it's as wide open as it was coming into this year. Green Bay probably arrived a year ahead of schedule, but you look at Jordan Love and the ongoing maturation process with him. It's an extremely young room of skill positions on the offensive side. And I actually think them parting ways with Joe Barry in favor of Jeff Hadley, the former head coach at Boston College, will pay dividends on the defensive side. So Green Bay has caught my eye. And when you look at the muddled middle of the AFC, look, I know it is extremely top-heavy. The Ravens, the Chiefs, they're not going anywhere. But I think the Cleveland Browns, if they can get healthier, knowing how much of their salary cap was on LTIR when that season ended, I think Kevin Stefanski, the reigning coach of the year, will have this team right back in the thick of things. I like the number on both of those teams as we look big picture-wise for 24-25.
Now, everyone had an opinion on the Sphere. The Sphere was the other big story of Super Bowl week. The entire TSN crew at various points saw you two at the Sphere. FanDuel has a bet under their novelties on the next act to do a residency at the Sphere after Dead & Company make an appearance there this summer. Let's take a look at the next act that might make an appearance at the Sphere, Todd. We've got Beyoncé. We've got Las Vegas natives, the Killers. That seems like a terrific choice. Fleetwood Mac without the late Christine McVie. Coldplay, Harry Styles, Foo Fighters. Maybe the Spice Girls. Todd, who are you picking, and who is Todd Furman's ideal show at the Sphere?
Look, Jay, this may break your heart because I know you are a huge Spice Girls fan. You and Victoria Beckham go way back from your days hobnobbing throughout the UK. But I think the rightful favorite there is who FanDuel has listed at a shade less than 3.5-1 in Beyoncé. There was so much buzz about her partnerships with T-Mobile, the fact that they continue to show her multiple times on that Super Bowl telecast. I think Beyoncé definitely deserves to be the short shot in this market, but I also wouldn't rule out Harry Styles at a price at 10-1. I've heard his name bandied about in some of those entertainment circles as well. So if I was looking to dabble in that particular market, those would be the 2 names. Now, for me personally, The act that I would love to see at the Sphere, considering I haven't set foot there, I never got my U2 tickets like most of the TSN staff. They must be coming in the mail, so I'll continue to watch. But my pick would be Kenny Chesney. I was a big Jimmy Buffett fan. I think Kenny Chesney comes from a similar sound and a similar family in terms of the audience that he would bring. I would love to see Kenny Chesney in the Sphere, bring in a little, a combination of country with that Jimmy Buffett flair to everybody in Las Vegas.
That seems like a perfect fit. And I'm actually surprised there aren't more country acts on that FanDuel list. Todd, now that the NFL is over, I know a lot of your focus will shift to NASCAR. And we have the Daytona 500 on TSN this Sunday. Who's your pick for the Great American Race?
It is the Super Bowl of stock car racing to kick off the season. The problem, Jay, is it is also the most unpredictable of all races. And you look at recent winners, they were all long shots. Last year, Ricky Stenhouse in the 47 car got to victory lane. The year before that, we saw Michael McDowell, and Austin Cindric, as a rookie, was able to take home the hardware. So I can understand why Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney are listed as the de facto short shots. I know Kyle Busch will be the nostalgic choice in his 19th start at Daytona to try and finally break through. But this is where you got to live a little bit dangerously. And I think the 7 car of Corey LaJoie at a price right around 65 to 1 offers a little bit of upside. This is a race, Jay, where you can throw a few darts and take a gamble. Corey LaJoie would be my long shot pick here, that if we win, we're never going to pick NASCAR on this network again. I'm going to retire 1-0 for this season with a 65 to 1 shot on my resume.
Well, you're kind of retiring. I mean, you're not retiring. You're going to take a little bit of a break. You're going on a very well-deserved vacation next week, and we hope you don't retire because we want to talk to you in a few weeks. And by the way, speaking of Spice Girls, I saw Spice World opening night when it came out in theaters. That's one of my things I'm most proud of. So while you're on vacation, you might want to dial it up on your favorite streaming service because I know you and your wife are going to love it.
Look, Jay, I mean, these are the kind of movie premieres that I figured you would get the red carpet treatment. They roll out the limo for you. They make sure that they can't roll any of these big motion pictures until you're in attendance. But I do like the casual jab you made towards me retiring. I take 1 week off, and I'll be back shortly thereafter. You don't work an entire day during the summer, and we don't call that retirement. We call that contractual obligation.
That's exactly it. I like to refer to it as load management. Okay, sometimes I just need to take a break. That's Todd Furman. We're going to take a break ourselves, and when we return, it is the on rights and wrongs.